Blevins Nation Entertainment and BlevinsNation.com, the place to go for all the best in rock and roll music, new rock, and podcast. So sit back, hold tight, and open up your ears. The revolution is here. Now here's your host, Chris.
Hello, everybody. That's right, Blevins Nation here. Chris with Blevins Nation, and I want to say thank you to all the listeners and downloaders of podcast. Because if it weren't for you, I would not be here in this position right now. Because this is episode number 97, so I'm coming up on my milestone. That's right, 100 episodes. Can't tell you who it's going to be yet, but I'm still in the works. But this episode is with Geoff Tate, of course, of Queensryche, and this new band featuring Geoff Tate, which is Sweet Oblivion, and they have a new song out, new single called True Colors. Definitely going to be playing that tonight on my radio show. But also, my 100th episode, man, that is just awesome. That it's been over a year, about a year and a half now. Yeah, a little over a year and a half, and I'm at episode number 100. So that's going to be killer. Don't forget, I have a new band. Actually, it's an old band, but we're back together, and a new name called Voodoo 13. So definitely check us out on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff. Check out Blevins Nation. Check out BlevinsNation.com. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. But definitely check out the website, BlevinsNation.com, because that's where you can find all these interviews and podcasts. So definitely check that stuff out. But Voodoo 13, short is V13, are going to be out on the road for some few dates in August. Yes, August. So anyway, do not forget to check us out. But for right now, this is a very cool interview with a very cool guy. And I'm going to shut up now and get to it. This is Geoff Tate.
Hi, this is Geoff Tate, and you're listening to Blevins Nation.
All right, everybody, this is Chris with Blevins Nation, and we are on the phone with Geoff Tate. How's it going?
Very good, Chris. How are you?
Oh, man, pretty good. Actually just saw you this Friday makes 2 weeks ago at the Blue Note in Harrison, Ohio.
Oh, that was a good show.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then I saw you last year here in Cincinnati at the venue, and probably 3 times in the 80s and once in the 90s. So, seen you a few times. Quick question. We're talking about Sweet Oblivion. Now, how'd you get hooked up with him? Or how did that come about?
Well, it was a real interesting story, actually. The idea was given to me by a gentleman at my record company who had an acquaintance, a guitar player from Italy who he quite admired. And he said that the guitar player was a big fan of my music. and he would like to put the two of us together and see if there was some sort of conversation that could come about, and maybe some music that would be written. So he introduced me to Simone Morani, the guitar player, and we started the dialogue back and forth via email and text. And we started trading music back and forth. And over time, we came up with the album, which was really kind of an interesting process because we recorded it and mixed it and wrote it completely in the virtual world of the internet. We have yet to actually meet each other or speak to each other. We only communicated via email and text, and and with the music, So
Yes.
it's a really interesting way of doing things that I quite like because it was actually kind of a pure way of working, because you're focused completely and utterly on the music and not on all the other stuff that happens. When you're in the same room together, you hours spent just chit chatting about stuff that doesn't really matter. It's that doesn't pertain to the music, and all of our focus, of course, was on the record. And so I quite like the result.
Yeah, that's amazing, the things you can do nowadays, via internet. So
You can all be in different countries, at different studios, working in different places. Like for me, example, I recorded everything of mine while I was on the road touring, and so I recorded, on tour buses and backstage at venues and dressing rooms and hotel rooms.
Wow.
And so,
okay.
Yeah, it's a wonderful way of working, actually.
Very convenient, it seems like.
Yeah, and immediate,
Yes. And you don't have to worry about going in and setting up in some place to, I know it's just vocals, but still, getting everything set up and ready to go to studio,
Exactly.
That's cool, man. Just the virtual world is just so amazing. So, now, as far as the songs, do you have to have music to put lyrics to, or do you come up with lyrics and somebody puts music to it? What's your...
Oh, both. Yeah.
I mean,
both. Sometimes it's, there's no rules really. It's,
right.
You have a guitar line or a piano line, melody idea.
Right.
And you can use that in so many different ways. It could be part of the accompaniment. It could be the main structure of the song. It could be turn into a vocal melody. You can assign that melody to a different instrument. Yeah, it just really depends on what you want to do with it. What your vision for the composition is. So in my world, almost every song I've ever written has started out on either acoustic guitar or piano.
Okay.
And then it gets changed as it goes along, and you add a drum kit or a bass line, and you put big electric guitars in there or not.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Now, Sweet Oblivion, are y'all, seeing as you haven't met yet, but and you'd have to have a bass player because I saw where he plays the guitar and the bass on the album, but are ever going to be any tours or shows or anything like that?
Not really planning on anything at the moment, but I would never say never.
Right.
Perhaps we'd probably do maybe another project together before there's any sort of touring involved,
Okay.
And honestly, I am so booked up. I'm booked up through the end of 2020.
Oh my gosh.
Right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I'm doing finishing up the tour I'm on right now, and then I'm doing festival dates with Avantasia throughout Europe this summer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I have
That's right.
I have a big tour starting in 2020. I'm going to perform the Empire album in its entirety because it's the 30-year anniversary of that album, and I've never played it all the way through.
Okay.
So I'm really looking forward to that, celebrating that milestone of an album,
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you about that because I had read something about that a few weeks back, and I was like, oh, that would be cool, So, Definitely. The because all I've seen is the Minecraft, show. The last two times anyway. So yeah, that's man, that's going to be awesome. Now, just Empire, are you going to add any songs at the end or anything like that? Because I know you kind of did that here at the venue in Cincinnati, so.
Yeah, I haven't actually decided on what other music I'm going to include, but I think it's maybe one of the older albums or a group of songs from several of the older albums.
Okay. Very cool. Now, I know you used to smoke. Do you still smoke cigarettes?
Oh, no, not
You gave that up? Okay.
Oh, yeah. When I was a kid.
Well, I knew I'd read an interview on you back in the 80s that, you were still, somebody had said you were still smoking Marlboro Reds, and I think, God, you had to be 30 is what I'm projecting. Anyway, I was like, how the heck does he still sing that good after smoking,
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's amazing.
It is amazing, but each to each his own.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know what? After all these years, there's some out there that just can't do it anymore, and some that can. And you, my friend, are one of those that can still belt it out. Just applaud to you and hands down to you. And Operation Mindcrime, everybody talks about it being the best concept album ever. I got to say that, but it's one of my top probably 3 albums of all time. I mean, just amazing work.
Thank you.
Oh yes, yeah, no worries, no problem. So you're going out with Avantasia. Now, how long is that? Is that till the end of the year? Once you finish this trek up with?
Well, I just went out with them. They did a world tour of 21 countries.
Wow!
And which started in February. Yeah, February, March, April, May. We just finished it, and that was a whirlwind trip. It was amazing. Just a wonderful group of people and an amazing show.
Okay.
And so many great players, musicians, and singers on the show. It was really an amazing experience for me to be part of that whole group ensemble.
Yeah.
And so we just finished that, and then we finished the last show. I think it was in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and then they're doing a series of the summer festivals in Europe, starting in July. Yeah, next month.
Okay.
So we start then.
Oh, okay.
And I think there's 10 or 12 festival dates coming up.
Oh,
in
okay.
Summer.
All right. Well, very cool. Yeah, I'd not heard of Avantasia until I interviewed Eric Martin about 3 months ago, and that was the first I had heard of him. And he was telling me about it. He said, "Dude, you got to check this stuff out," And wow, that's unbelievable. Great stuff.
Yes.
So
it is really interesting material. I love I love every song in the set, and it's a 3.5 hour show.
Oh my gosh!
Seven different guest vocalists, which I'm one of, and Eric is one of as well.
Yes.
And he's fantastic, great singer, great personality. We have a lot of fun together, and it's a wonderful array of talented people. There's a young singer named Adrienne Cullen who's part of the group this year, and she's an up and coming. Fantastic singer, really very versatile performer as well.
Okay.
And Ronnie Atkins from Pretty Maids is involved, and he's fantastic singer. We've got Jorn Lande. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a Norwegian metal singer. I guess I would call him. Fantastic voice. Another amazing singer, Bob Catley from the band Magnum, is involved. There's a legendary singer from Magnum has been around longer than Queensryche. I think they started in maybe 1970 or something like that.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, amazing bunch of people. a great group of musicians. The band is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
every night just laying it down. It's amazing players.
Especially 3.5 hours of work. I mean, good Lord, that's a trick in itself right there.
Yeah, it really is. And Felix Blanca, the drummer for Avantasia, and also a band called Head Guy, is playing drums on my tour right now. And
okay.
My show is like an hour 45 minutes, the usual standard show, length. And he says it's like a holiday for him because he was thinking 3.5 hours in the Avantasia show. It's like, I don't even know how he still stands up.
Oh, I know. Good Lord. Yeah, I noticed that you had a different drummer because you had a young kid when you were here in Cincinnati last year, and then this guy was here at the Blue Note. So very cool, man. Well, yeah. Any chance of Avantasia coming to the States and playing?
We did. We played. Let's see, Anaheim.
Okay.
Grove there. We played Chicago. And we played Worcester, Massachusetts, and just 3 shows in the United States.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, yeah, I would definitely love to catch that. That would be a great show. Now is it done in like a certain arrangement to where you sing at the same time every night, or?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
It's a show, so we have definite times that we play and different songs, specific songs we sing.
Okay.
But I sing four songs in the show.
Okay.
And then we all get together on the last song, and we all sing together as well.
Wow.
And Eric Martin and I do a song together. We trade off vocals on in the show. It's pretty fun. Pretty fun presentation, and he makes it fun, and I try to go along with him because he's a real comedian.
Yes, he is.
So we spend a little bit of time, at the beginning of the song, and he sort of rolls with this comedy routine, and I'm sort of a straight man interjecting here and there. But it works. It's kind of like Laurel and Hardy without falling down.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's awesome, man, because he definitely keeps the party going. I tell you, he
does.
Well, very cool, Geoff. Well, anything?
He's that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy that can say things to people and they laugh. But if I said the same thing to somebody, I'd get slapped or punched. Right? He just has that kind of comedic delivery that it strikes people, as funny all the time.
It is, and even if it's pushed to the limit of very smart-ass sarcasm.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't really get offended. I know.
They don't. And that's my point. Is he goes way over the line, all the time.
Yes.
And gets away with it.
Well, very cool. Very cool. Now, anything new coming up besides the Sweet Oblivion stuff, I mean,
as far as new music?
Yes, yeah, music.
I have a whole new. I don't really want to call it an album, but it is an album. Album's worth of material. I'm finishing it now. Hopefully, while I'm in Europe this summer, I'll be able to sort of round it all up and finish the tracks that are left unfinished. But I'm not sure how I'm going to release it yet, because there's all these new ideas on how to release music now that are really interesting, and so I'm kind of in the process of exploring those ideas now, rather than releasing a traditional album. This is a kind of alternative to that. So I'm looking into that right now.
Okay. As a solo thing, or as a band thing, or as far as the name. Okay.
Yeah, it might just be called Geoff. I don't know.
Okay. That's short and sweet. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Geoff, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got a few more of these to do today. So, but it's been great. Hope Hope next time you come into town, I get to meet you. Would love to, get a picture with you and stuff. That would be cool. So,
excellent. Well, thank you for the interview, Chris. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no problems. Well, that wraps up number 97, of course, with Mr. Geoff Tate of Queensryche and Sweet Oblivion. Do not forget to check out BlevinsNation.com. That's right, where all my interviews are at. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also check out Voodoo 13, voodoo13official.com, and Voodoo13official on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook as well. Always check out my good friend at RFL Records. Please check out his bands. Man, good stuff over there, doing some really cool stuff. And just got one of his bands on his roster on the New England Music Fest. So that ought to be fucking kick-ass. But anyway, love you. Thank you. Don't forget, 100th episode coming up. I will release some news about that before long. And anyway, check out Geoff Tate. Check out my radio show tonight on rockrageradio.com every Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. And before me is going to be the House of Rock with Dirty D and Melissa K from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. So check us all out. Check out all the DJs on Rock Rage Radio and Tattoo Metal Radio. Anyway, gotta go. Love, peace, and monkey grease. And don't forget, kids, wherever you go, there you are.